How you folks? How you doing? This is a request video that I got asked to make to do a review on 50 Shades of Grey, the movie that just came out. So it's technically the movie is just about it's twofold, the double-edged sword. On one side of sexuality, you have this repression that society imposes upon a lot of the population, generally through religion. But that's not as bad anymore. So the other side of it is that it's a very negative thing to have a movie like that to be so touted as a revolution and something that advances society along. So you have to ask the question, does homosexuality advance society along? Because basically 50 Shades of Grey is just homosexual in the archetype, in the basic fundamental impression of it. Now it is natural for humans to have sex. It's natural for humans to love each other. But what the movie 50 Shades of Grey does is that it makes the manipulation of the sex drive and the imagination of human beings in such a way that it creates associations of basically castration, violence, and sex, loveless sex, moving relationships mainly to just the sexual arena, making it kind of just a surface connection, basically. Humans tend to take the least path to resistance. So the last couple generations have been bombarded and just indoctrinated into homosexuality. Now, is homosexuality wrong? Like I said before, it's not wrong for humans to love each other or to have sex. But at the same time, you see that in the culture that we live in, which is global white supremacy, you see that that the reason why the white race is held up as the race for supremacy is because it's the most programmable race by the elites, the ones that own everything, the black magician, the one that owns everything. They keep the white race held up as the master race or the key race, because the white race, it's not because they have any superiority or they have any special qualities that are beyond anyone else. It's just that they're the most programmable. So you can tell them something, it locks into a program in them, and then anything else that goes against the program, because of the way that they are made up psychologically and energetically, they will basically overload. They just can't handle it. So that's the reason why the elites hold the white race up as the supreme race or whatever. And so Now, in this kind of movie, 50 Shades of Grey, what Hollywood has always done throughout history, as well as the mind controllers, whenever society starts to get out of hand, and when I say get out of hand, I mean out of hand in the sense that there's too many free thinkers, there's too many people that are too creative, there's too many people that are connected to the spirit, there's too many people that are sovereign beings. They have knowledge of themselves. They have knowledge that they think right, they live right. So when that happens, the elites don't like it because it invariably will produce a situation of democracy, and the elites despise democracy because they can't control democracy. They can't control a person that lives in a democratic setup. So they have to resort to other measures, say for instance in America, to control people, and that's mind control, because they can't just beat you over the head with a club, in America, well, for the most part. So they have to, all throughout history, for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, if there's a situation where it's a democratic setup, and they can't get to those people and just, bludgeon them and beat the hell out of them and kill them, then they will resort to mind control tactics. And so the Nazis became the masters of that. And the Nazis found out from the Tibetans that the two most powerful forces in the universe are the sex drive and the imagination. So that's always how they manipulated the elites, that is. That's how they've always manipulated and controlled societies, by causing dissension between the sexes. And the Bible even shows that. It shows Eve and the serpent, and that's a schism between her and Adam. It becomes it's a basic problem. You see, and that's metaphoric for who's pulling the strings behind the scenes. You see, because if you have a dream, for instance, and there's a snake in the dream, represents deception. Okay, you can say it represents wisdom, because in lots of cultures throughout the world, the archetype is that the snake represents wisdom. But you could also say it represents the voice of the knowledge, and that's the voice of separateness. And that's the beginning of dissension between the sexes. So you only have to manipulate the human female to control the society. Alfred Bernays, who is considered to be the father of modern advertising and public relations, thought that women were extremely stupid. He said it all the time. And he said the same thing. I don't have to control anybody in the society except the women to control it. And Tupac even said that. He said, when I rap, I don't rap for the niggas, I rap for the bitches, because the niggas gonna do what the bitches want. You see? So what Alfred Bernays did is Alfred Bernays gave women, he contracted this psychiatrist named B.F. Skinner, and they wanted to figure out how to, they got hired by Philip Morris to figure out how to get women to smoke back during the 30s or 40s or whatever. So they just came up with the fact that, the majority of women have penis envy. And it's always been kind of a unspoken thing that, we have to get even with these men for all the historical wrongs they've done to us. Because even feminism was actually founded on prostitution. You had the positive stuff, like, women need to be able to vote, they don't need to be, you can't just beat the shit out of them for no reason, stuff like that, and they need to have control over their own bodies. A man does it. He can control their body. You're not a woman. You know? So, but they, on the other hand, they're taught that they're just programmed. They're downtrodden. You know, because you ever notice how a woman can do something to you, and you're supposed to just be like, you're supposed to stop talking about it and be hurt by the shit. You're supposed to stop being hurt by it like a week later. But you can do the smallest thing to her, and she will talk about that shit for the next 25 fucking years. She'll throw it up in your face every single chance that she gets to throw it up in your face. Okay, as leverage. You see what I'm saying? So you see, human women are defective. They're defective psychologically. They're self-reflective. They're defective physically because they have the period. And they're defective in a spiritual sense too, because they're susceptible to influence from the demon world more so than men. So that's why you like, for instance, you see the Dracula movie. They make it that, you know, they make it like 5,000 Dracula movies every 10 years. You know, that's always the woman. She's just mesmerized by Dracula. You know, and that's just a metaphor for telling. And Dracula's all about blood. Just a metaphor to telling you, you know, that women are susceptible to that because demons manifest through blood into this world. So they can manifest through the woman, through her vagina, especially during menses. You know, so you ever notice how women used to get away with killing their husbands when they had PMS. Literally, they say the hormones were so flaring up, they killed the guy. And they get away with it because the lawyers were able to prove that they were not really in their right mind. So here you got this 50 Shades of Grey, and that is it's mainly a castration tool because you see all like normal guys look at that shit and they're like, what in the fuck is that? You know, you basically got this girl who's growing an invisible penis, and you got this guy who seems like he should be a normal dude, but he's counting down and being a puss, and he's basically letting the girl turn into the guy, and he's like basically he's a guy chick. You know what I'm saying? And so the way that the indoctrination system works, because people aren't as educated anymore as they used to be, the way the indoctrination system works is that the last few generations have just been indoctrinated into the fact that, you know, homosexuality is normal. Now, it's normal for people to love each other, and it's normal for people to have sex. See, those two things right there. But the Nazi part, the way the Nazis actually came about was the human rights movement. Well, the gay rights movement turned into the human rights movement and became the Nazi party. And if you know, it's like liberals, progressives, they are worse than Nazis when it comes to censoring what you say. So they're supposed to be progressive, okay? So the way their progression is by changing your behavior. In other words, limiting your ability to express yourself. You know, like, if you don't like gay people, you just don't like them. I mean, essentially, sexuality should never be a fight. And gay people should have the same amount of rights as everybody else. They should be able to get married. They should be able to do whatever. And you shouldn't be able to abuse them just because of their sexuality or because of the way they act or whatever, because they're gay, you know. But at the same time, you get bombarded with that shit out the clear blue. You just get hit over the head with it, hit over the head with it, hit over the head with it. And gay people, from my experience, when they, like, say for instance, you know how like regular people, they'll be like, well, I got this job, if you don't sleep with me, I won't promote you. Well, gay people are like 10 times worse about that shit, because you got that, plus you got that fastidiousness, that meticulousness, that of the homosexual, you know, and they're just relentless, you know. and they will oppress people worse, especially like in the workplace, stuff like that. Like if a guy that's gay or a closeted homosexual wants to sleep with another guy and he won't promote him or whatever, that motherfucker will never stop, you know. And the regular dude won't even, not even gay, but the gay motherfucker will he'll actually become obsessed with the shit. So it's a double-edged sword, but 50 Shades of Grey is just totally fucked up movie. I mean, I'll never watch that shit. No, I'll never watch it. I mean, you know, I know that it's a precursor to the attempt to install Nazism into you know, America, because if you want to talk about it and bring it up like on blogs and Facebook and stuff like that, you know, you're going to get blocked a lot if you don't simply say, oh, that's so wonderful, oh, it's so great to be gay, oh, it's so fantastic. You know, like, I mean, should gay people be allowed to get married in these states? Yes. Should these states be allowed to not honor what the federal government says as far as allowing same-sex marriages? Hell no. Same-sex marriage should be allowed because they get benefits. If they're married, they're married. You see what I'm saying? But the way the other side of it is such a big push, the way it works is that any dissension against it, see, it becomes a system of authority. And so women, they love that shit. They love like power and lust. You see what I'm saying? They love it, you know. They feel so powerful, you know. You ever notice how on Facebook you say something women don't like, she immediately will tell. I'm gonna tell Facebook. See what I'm saying? Men are neurotic. They're fucking crazy. You have to basically agree with everything that they say. See what I'm saying? And if you disagree, it just better be some off-the-cuff, irrelevant shit. It can't be to the point for it. You have to like say, you have to say the shit real stupid like a dick. You know what I mean? And then, you know, they'll and giggle after what you say, you know. But it just basically 50 Shades of Grey shows that the average human female, because it came out, it was as popular as Jurassic Park and the Avengers, and you know, it was like one of the biggest films ever, you know. And women got taking their man to this shit, you know what I mean? Oh, come on, you're going to 50 Shades of Grey with me? You know, she talked to 25 of her fucking girlfriends on Girls Night Out. 50 Shades of Grey is just the greatest movie. Us women are now men with invisible dicks. You know, see what I'm saying? And so, it becomes a form of authority, a system of authority. And it's the worst type of system of authority because, you know, we have the patriarchal God, the male God, you know. And people think like, oh, it's the time of the goddess. But the goddess art is 10 times more evil than the god art. And you think that, well, one thing that's not ever going to happen, you don't have to worry about it. Men dominate, and they always will. So that part you don't have to worry about. And it doesn't matter how many women there are. You know, women are always born at a greater weight than men. It doesn't matter. You know, always dominate. But the shit will be fucking annoying in the meantime. So, you know, I'm sure they'll make, you know, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of 50 Shades of Grey, you know. But it's just basically Nazism. You know, like I said, Nazi Party started out, Human Rights Party, Gay Rights Party, Human Rights Party, Nazi Party. So, it's just an attempt, a deliberate attempt by the elite mind controllers to create dissension between the sexes and to create a situation of hellishness and Nazism. That's what it is.